Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to a brand new video here today, and a very, very different one, because today we are taking a Formula 1 personality quiz slash test about which F1 world champion are we? Are you? Which world champion am I? Okay? I've always been curious. It's a burning question, and today we're going to find out because we've got 10 questions. 33 different drivers have been crowned world champions since 1950, but no two of them have shared the same personality. Which one are you most akin to? It's time to take our personality test and find out. If you want to take this one for yourself as well, it's on the official F1 website, so take it yourself and let me know who you get in the comments below. This was made, it first appeared in 2019 apparently, and then was republished in 2020, but since then, only Lewis has become world champion, so it really doesn't matter. It hasn't added anything to the tally of different champions that we've got to choose from here. But which F1 world champion are you? Let's find out together today. Right, you've just won a Grand Prix. Do you make a beeline for the nearest party? That you see now, that's a bit of me. That if you follow me on Instagram pre-COVID, you'll know that's a bit of me. Fire up the private jet and get out of here. So I can see the private party. I can see that. Put the third. What is this third one? Pour over the data to make sure you're even better prepared for the next race. Who's doing that? Who? Get a life, man. Why? Who? Come on now. Oh, I've just won a Grand Prix. Let me pour over the... I don't even have my glasses anymore right now. I've got my contacts in. Oh, let me pour over the data. Oh, I can't see it. No. Enjoy your win. Enjoy your win. You don't know. I mean, we're a world champion, so it could come again. Even better. You know you're going to win again probably in the future being a world champion or being of that caliber. Soak it in. But even if this was pre you knowing you were a champion, like, let's say Gasly, you don't know when your next win's going to be. Soak it up. I mean, they've got a photo literally of him. Well, it's not here. No, it's a Mercedes. Oh, for a second, I was like, oh, that's Pierre. But then I was like, there's no crowd there. He had COVID. But soak it in, man. Discuss the tribulations you had to overcome to take victory. Now, I feel like most drivers have to do that anyway because of the PR, the press. You got Sky in the pen. You got all the different global media. So you're gonna do that for every answer anyway before you do anything really. So that's kind of a moot point. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I can see the why you'd want to do that, have a little private party at home, go back to, if we're a world champion, let's be real, we probably got a mansion or a penthouse in Monaco or Italy or, somewhere exotic and sunny and just expensive. So it would be a nice place to go back to on your private jet, start the drinking early on the private jet. But for me, as I said, I don't maybe show it off too much on YouTube and whatnot, but if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I'm very much up for a sesh. You never have to ask me twice. So yeah, we're going to go to the nearest party. Thank you very much. Let's move on. Question number 2. A driver cuts you up on track. Now, you see, is he cutting up us on track like this? Because if he is, I think I already know what I'm going to pick. But here we go. Hunt them down in the pits and rough... That's a very weird way to rough them up a bit. Oh, you rapscallion, rough him up. That's a very PC way of saying I'm going to deck him in the face. Right, that's a little bit too over the top for me, personally. Call them out in a press conference. Now, that is a bit of me. Bit, underhand, a little bit cheeky in the press conference. You guys have seen in the My Team episodes, early on when we actually bothered to do the questions with Claire, sometimes be a little bit cheeky with what we answer. Stand at the side of the track and shout at them. What's that doing, man? He's not going to hear you. He's in an F1 car. He's going to hear his engine and nothing but. So that's a bit pointless. Tell your journalist friends what you think of the driver and their actions. Now that's a bit snaky. There's a difference between calling them out in a press conference and being a little bit cheeky, and this is just being a bit of a snake. Going behind the backs, going to your journo friends, getting the articles put out. That's a bit too much for me, personally. And meh, that's racing. Well, it is, to be honest. If it's the first time he's done it, then yeah, it is racing. If it's like that, though, and it's the first time, I'd be a little bit annoyed, and I probably would call them out. And if it's multiple times, I would call them out. So, 2 out of 3, I'm going to call them out in a press conference. Be a bit bit cheeky. They're been caught unawares. Like a deer in headlights. They're not gonna expect it. I've shook his hand after the race. It's all calm. Next press conference, just bring out like, yeah, he was a bit silly. He was a bit of an idiot, wasn't he? So sorted. Right, call them out in the press conference. Sorted. Especially if it's like that. I mean, if it's like that, definitely. Right, yo, sad. Your F1 career has reached an end. What do you do next? Well, I for one, wait till the next F1 game and I remake my F1 career. That was a very bad joke. We can move on from that. So, yeah, sad times, Massa. Was this his first retirement? Because he retired after this, didn't he? This was his first retirement, I think. Start a fashion and accessories lifestyle brand. Very much Lewis Hamilton, but you know what? I do like my fashion. I do like my streetwear, especially, like Lewis in a way. So I would be, I would lean towards that, Become a commentator so you can shout at your old rivals. Now, the first part, yeah, because I do love commentary. I really love commentary. So I would love to do like a James Hunt sort of thing, retire and just be a commentator alongside someone else. I'll be like the color commentator. I just add the mad phrases and whatnot, and the guy next to me is the main guy doing the thing. So you can shout your old rivals though. That's a little bit, bit bitter. Come on now. You give it up. You don't need to shout your old rivals. Unless they mean it just as, shouting into a microphone. If they mean it like that, then I would definitely want to do that, to be fair. But if they mean it in a negative way, then that's a bit, just give it up, man. Open a car dealership to make more money. We're an F1 world champion. We've surely made enough money. Enjoy your millions. That's a good shout, to be honest. That's a good. Start your own F1 team. That'll be quite fun. I'll delve into Motorsport Manager. We've done my team. How hard can it be? How hard could it be? Probably very, very hard. We've seen how Haas is going. I feel like if you went with Enjoy Your Millions, that would allow you... That's a bit of a cheat answer, because that allows you to do everything you want to do, because you could enjoy your millions and still take a job at the BBC or Sky and do a commentary role. You could enjoy your millions and then start a fashion brand or a lifestyle brand and do that, and start your own F1 team. Because, pissing away your millions in an F1 team could be the way you enjoy your millions. So I'm going to go with enjoy your millions. I think that's the clever, smart answer here, I think. It's a bit of a cheat as well with my reasoning here, but I think that's the one I honestly want to go for. So yeah, we're going to go for that. We can do multiple things. Your road car is most likely to... What? Why is there a Skoda Super? If the car is called Superb, it's probably not superb. Vintage Mercedes, to be fair, even though it's very old school, there's something about it. It is very kind of like, you get spotted in this, and people are calling you a top geezer. You're an absolute geezer in this car. McLaren's 720S... Very nice car. Audi RS6. Not that great. Bit of a weird... It's like a hatchback saloon. Very weird. No, I wouldn't go with that. I would not go with the Skoda, as I've already kind of demonstrated my feelings towards it. So it's between these two. And as much as I think you look like a geezer, I'm not... I like vintage... I do like some vintage things, but cars... It has to be a certain type of vintage car, not like this. I don't like it's just that I feel like it's vintage for the sake of vintage. It's not like an actual nice sports car that was like an old school design or anything like that. It's just a weird saloon thing. So I would go with the McLaren 720S. How would you be most likely to injure yourself off track? Okay, off track, not on track, off track. Right, rotator cuff strain from too much golf. So that's like, here, too much swinging around. That would definitely be Lando, I think. But every F1 driver these days playing golf. Entering a novelty motorsport race. Now, for me, if we base it off what I am like in real life, F1 is enough for me. I don't really watch many other motorsports. I might tune into F2, but I get my motorsport fix from F1 enough. And if I want more sport, I'll watch football. So I definitely wouldn't do that. Falling off a... I mean, if we go off answer one, it might be that. But I will maintain, whenever I'm out, when nights out were a thing, and whenever there's a sesh, I do maintain I can get paralytic, like absolutely plastered, and I will still be coherently fine. Like, if I need to, like, let's say something goes wrong, like my mate gets lost or something, I feel like I can snap out of it for a brief moment and sober up and act sober for that moment to, do things. So I don't think I'd ever fall off a table. I've never fallen off a table. I have fallen once, because when I went to Magaluf once, I thought I'd be clever. There was like a slippery floor. I was like, watch this. And I just ran towards it, trying to do like a slide. Like when you slide on a slippery floor on socks. I had just my shoes on, but like the floor was so, I think someone spilled a drink or something. And I just went like this, like, watch this, guys, like all my mates behind, and I just decked it. So you know what, maybe I would be susceptible to falling off a table. I don't know. Cycling accent while keeping fit. I don't like cycling's a bit boring, to be honest, so no, wouldn't do that. Crashing your motorbike. I cannot ride a motorbike. I don't feel like I want to ride a motorbike. They are... It's a death trap. So no, I wouldn't do that. So really, honestly, annoyingly, after all of that reasoning, it might just have to be that. Because I have played golf in the past. My dad's into golf. I'm not. He did try to get me into it, but no. I just don't think any of those fit apart from this one. This is definitely the most fitting one for me. I think out of all 5. So we'll go with this one. Who was your F1 idol growing up? Ayrton Senna, Fangio, Hawthorne, Hunt, Villeneuve. Ooh, I mean, for me personally, for someone that obviously I only started watching F1, unfortunately to my detriment, late on, I guess, compared to a lot of you guys maybe. I only started watching around 06, 07ish, and then only fully got into it, like into 08 basically. So I've watched the documentaries, I've watched pieces about many of these drivers really, but I think in terms of an idol, I just gonna have to go with Senna. It's a bit of a, maybe, easy answer, but I mean, after watching things like Senna and stuff like that, it's got to be him. Hunt was a character and a half, though. I'm so fascinated by him as a character, as a person. I would have loved to have actually seen him live, like on TV, if I was watching F1 back then. But yeah, Senna, yeah, I mean, Villeneuve, no, I don't really have any association. Hawthorne, no. Fangio, absolute legend, obviously, won the first, but it's got to be Ayrton Senna for me. Your attitude to training, I love it. It's for people that can't drive fast enough. No, that's absolutely not it, especially in the modern age. There definitely is a performance difference you can gain from training harder, because especially with how physical the cars are, and also just really how long the season is, and just, I don't know, I feel like also, training is also not just for physical, it's for the mental game as well. So yeah, I would go with love it. Yeah, I don't agree with that sentiment really. Yeah, I think the better you train as an F1 driver, the better you're just going to be for not just F1, just in general, mentally as well, not just the driving. What's your driving style? We already know this. Hyper-aggressive, a Grand Prix car that needs to be hustled. Smooth and silky. To go fast, you should look slow. Now, the thing is, all of you men might say I'm hyper-aggressive because the amount, I oversteer. But that's just because I'm not that great at the oversteer and the car control at times. I have a what they call a lead foot. I have a lead foot. But if you notice, the way I try and drive most of the time, I have always maintained, is like Jenson Button, who is my favourite F1 driver, it's a phrase Brundle's used to describe Jenson's driving, and it's a way he's trying to describe George Russell's driving in a way sometimes, because I think he has quite a similar style sometimes. It's kind of one turn in, one turn out, so you don't correct the car in the middle of the corner. I do correct the car with my driving on F1 2020 because I lose the back end. But if the car was stable, in theory, I'm a very lazy driver. My force feedback is not very high compared to a lot of people. Anytime anytime someone's used my wheel, they're like, Jesus Christ, this is really light. Because I'm quite a lazy driver, so I like to just go in, out, and that's the way I like to do it. But whether I am that is maybe a different question. But I'm gonna go with what I feel like I go for. And I feel like it's just the fact that I just have a very lead foot. So I am hyper aggressive, but I try and go for smooth and silky. And to be fair to me, I've made some rather smooth and silky moves over the years. So I'm going to go for this one. Your ideal sponsor would be, now I really do like, I think as a driver, a sponsor would be very important to me of who I'm affiliated with, especially if it changes the look of the car or my helmet. This is a funny picture, and what was the... see, where is this now in modern F1? I want to see this funny crap in F1. Right, your ideal sponsor would be a cycling brand, an alcohol brand, a fashion brand, a golfwear brand. Now, there's only two options here for me. It's an alcohol brand or a fashion brand. I think as a driver, the coolest one would actually be a fashion brand, because alcohol, cool, you're sponsored by a certain alcohol, but that just means you have to, in all the PR things, you have to always drink that one alcohol. Now, don't get me wrong. If it was like Strongbow Dart Fruits, or like a vodka, maybe that would be quite decent, because I'm partial to that, but I think I'll get more enjoyment long term from a fashion brand. If you've got like a sick streetwear brand sponsoring you, that would be sick, because then, you could do collabs and stuff like that outside of that, and I think it'd be more room to grow as an individual and as a brand versus an alcohol one, where it's just sort of on the car, on your overalls, you do an advert, whatever. So I'm going to go with a fashion brand for that one. And finally, the last, this is it. This is where we're going to find out which F1 World Champion am I. You treat your teammate, ... Well, you need them to help you win the championship. Well, we're all friends here. With suspicion. Why are they asking me about my diff settings? With indifference. They do their thing, you do yours. This is a tough one, because there have been many times in career modes in F1, I've got to think of it like that, as sad as it sounds. I've obviously needed teammates to be well to win a championship sometimes. But obviously, you guys know me. A lot of the time, I end up falling out with my teammates and I have issues with them. They hit me off, I hit them off. And it's not a suspicion thing. There has been suspicion sometimes of AI teammates of how are they that quick, but it's more with indifference, I would say. They do their thing, I'll do mine, and at the end of the day, the team principal will hope we come together and we've got enough points to win the championship. So I'm going to go with indifference. So this is it. Let's find out which F1 World Champion am I in this Formula 1 personality quiz with indifference. Lewis Hamilton. Well, to be honest, I'm not that surprised by the answers I gave. We had some fashion stuff in there. We had some partying, which Lewis, maybe not so these days, but was known to be a bit of a party animal, maybe back in the day when he was a bit younger, a bit reckless. Yeah, to be honest, I would take that. He's a very cool man. I would love to be in his shoes. He was a very, very cool man. You're the consummate F1 pro, effortlessly fast on track, whilst enjoying a vibrant social life off it. See, that's the thing. That's important. If I was an F1 driver, you're not even champion, that's important to me. F1 is obviously a big part of these guys' lives. Kind of almost like YouTube is a big part of my life. But at the end of the day, pre-COVID and post-COVID, at the end of the day, it is also, it is a job, and you've got to enjoy yourself off away from your job. As much as your job is your life, i.e. like YouTube is mine, and Hamilton's and drivers at F1, you've got to enjoy yourself off it and actually have a bit of a social life outside of it. You work hard, train hard, when it's all over, you enjoy the good things that come with the F1 lifestyle. Literally, that blurb, it would be me to a T as an F1 driver. So yeah, I back it. I agree with it. Yeah, I can see why. I would be curious, maybe one or two. I thought I was maybe one or two answers off being like James Hunt or something like that. And if I answered some other way, if I maybe answered the fashion one as alcohol, maybe I would have been James Hunt. But interesting. But let me know who you get if you go and take this one, and let me know in the comments below. But if you did like this concept, guys, then be sure to like that button, and let me know if you want to see another one, because I believe, not by F1, I think by Drive Tribe or whatever, but there is an F1 team principal personality quiz. So that might be quite interesting, because we've seen who I am as a driver, apparently. Who am I as a team principal? Am I a Gunther Steiner? Who knows? Am I a Christian Horner? Who knows? Toto Wolff? I can hit a table? Who knows? But yeah, if you want to see that one maybe in the future, then let me know. But if you're new around here, do subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.